everybody. I know it has been a long day for all of us, so I'm going to try to make this short and sweet and focus on the important stuff that you guys are interested in. So, I'll try to move quickly on the things that we can discuss later and just focus on the important stuff. So, thank you for the nice introduction. I've been in this industry for close to 20, 25 years, mostly on the FX and commodity sides and stocks. But it's been really an interesting time for people like me who has been in this business for a while to see crypto expanding in the way it has been. So it should be an interesting time for us. And today we're going to talk about something very important, which is the impact of the Trump administration on the crypto market. So just a quick introduction about who we are and what we do. Like I said, my name is Amgad Attia. I work for TradeView in New York. We established as a brokerage since 2004. We offer a multi-asset platforms. You can trade crypto, you can trade currency CFDs, you can trade oil, you can trade gold, single stocks, real on-exchange single stocks. We offer MT4 and MT5 trading platforms. I'm just trying to go through everything real quickly, guys, for you to know. So you can trade with MT4, MT5, on-exchange stocks, currencies, really tight spreads on everything, good and honest execution. Longevity in a broker that you're dealing with or a company that you're dealing with is really vital, and trustworthiness. So we've been in business for quite some time. The management team, all from New York City, all Wall Street experience, high integrity across the board in all what we do. So we're also a sponsor of a rugby team, the Leicester Tigers rugby team in the UK, if anybody follows rugby. Our CEO and founder, Tim Fury, is here with us. He is also one of famous rugby players back in the day, so this is why he likes to sponsor rugby. Like I said, we offer the MT4, MT5 in terms of trading, over 5,000 real stocks. We offer on-exchange real stocks. So I know this is a crypto, but you can hedge your exposure or you can hedge your position also in real stocks. Like I said, we have automated copy trading. You can use this in crypto as well. So if you want to follow a leader software, this is something that you can use in our system, and it's free as well. So we're talking about Mr. Trump. A lot has changed in the last 6 months. Since November, when Trump was announced as the president of the United States, we have seen a nice surge in crypto prices. The optimism that Trump administration will legalize crypto in the US will make it easy for retail investors like you and me and everybody to actually trade crypto. So this was not something that the previous administration, primarily the Biden administration, was interested in. So we just understand the dynamics of US politics, so everybody is aware. We are, in the US, a two-party system, Republicans and Democrats. So Republicans are pro-free markets, are pro-crypto, are pro-low taxes, less government, while Democrats are pro-big government, control of central banks, control of everything, high taxes. So whenever an administration is in power, they change the way things are done. So during the last 4 years, the Biden administration have put a lot of restrictions on crypto, basically limiting the ability for brokerage to operate, limiting the ability of retail investors to invest in crypto. But when Trump came in, he promised to change everything. And this is why we have seen such a big rise in crypto prices, especially Bitcoin, as soon as he was announced even president, even before he took office. So we have seen this. We have seen that the shift in the federal policy, towards more favorable, crypto offerings. So as soon as Trump took over, he, issued some executive orders. I think he issued hundreds of executive orders. Basically, he didn't want to have a digital US dollar because he felt that this is not the appropriate thing to do, but we will see this later on. He was in favor of stable coins. So, I know a lot of people talk about, how the tariffs have impacted the world, but the tariffs had a main reason, and Trump was not an idiot. He knew what he was doing. And we will talk about this in a minute in terms of the stable coin and how important it is for all of us as retail and professional investors and traders. So as you guys know, the U.S. Treasuries, the U.S. and China are the biggest two holders of cryptocurrency reserve, primarily through seizure. So the U.S. and China, they control the bulk of the outstanding crypto in the world through seizure. So they can, at any time, impact price by even talking about selling or buying. So just be aware of this fact. It's not even though crypto is decentralized, the US government and the Chinese government effectively owns the biggest stockpile, which makes them able to impact this. So as soon as we've seen Trump took over, endorsing crypto alone has pushed the price a lot higher. And if you guys following the news, on which I want to come to the important point. Yesterday, the Senate in the United States have initially passed the law that will set up what's called the Genius Act. It will set up the framework for banks and other institutions to issue stable coin in the U.S. So why is this important, and how it would impact everybody? So, and I'm going to tie this to the tariff thing. So previously, the U.S. debt was primarily bought by sovereign funds like China and Europe and big hedge funds. So, and I'm referring to U.S. Treasuries. Now, by issuing these stable coins and imposing rules that they have to be backed by real assets, primarily U.S. Treasuries, Trump is shifting or strengthening the position of the U.S. dollar, but he's shifting the power from the central banks of the world to the stable coin issuer of the world. So instead of being dependent on China and other central banks and other countries that may be hostile to the US, he is making cryptocurrency as the backer of the US dollar. So this will have a great impact in maintaining the US control as the global reserve currency, the US dollar as the global reserve currency. But in the meantime, taking the power from central banks by enabling regular banks and financial institutions across the globe to issue stable coin. So going forward, you might see a JP Morgan stable coin or a Bank of America stable coin. These coins, by law, has to be backed by real assets, primarily US Treasuries. So, and now, Trump can negotiate with China in a better way. The world economy will have a different structure going forward. It's no longer going to be controlled by the central banks and their policy. It's going to be decentralized. It's going to have the ability for small companies, big companies to issue their coin, to be more competitive, to be under less government scrutiny, so to speak. So I just wanted to tie this because this was just released yesterday. And we've seen Bitcoin making new highs, Bitcoin ETFs making new highs. Meantime, the stock market is not doing, well, it has improved dramatically over the last month, but still did not make all-time high. We're still barely flat for the year. So Bitcoin has basically, and crypto in general, has basically become the risky asset that people, the preferred risky asset, so to speak. We've seen gold going up. We've seen crypto going up, but we have not seen U.S. equities going up, primarily due to tariffs. But I think towards the second half of the year, when all this tariff business will settle down, I think we are going to see a big rise in the stock market, primarily in the U.S. and also the global stock market. We're also going to see new highs for Bitcoin. Maybe gold, we'll see if it actually slows down a bit. We've seen now 3,500 on gold. I don't know if you're going to hit it anytime soon. I guess it depends on how the geopolitical events, primarily in the Middle East and between Ukraine and Russia, will evolve in the next few months. If you have peace in these areas between Israel, Palestine, and Hamas, Ukraine and Russia, if we are able to contain those conflicts, we might see a decline in price of gold. We might see an increase in risky assets such as U.S. stocks as well as crypto. Just wanted to quickly tie the recent events with what we're talking about and understand the importance of how stable coins in general going to reshape how the financial institutions work. This morning when I was talking, we were talking about how stable coins like USDT, USDC, Solana has changed how we do business. And instead of having to wire money to a bank and wait for days to receive your money, you can instantaneously log into your brokerage account or your exchange account, fund your account, trade, redeem your money within hours or within the same day, which has revolutionized the way we do business. So it hasn't had a real-world effect in terms of have a wider applications, but I think with time and with more implementations, we are going to hopefully soon have a credit card, crypto credit card based, where you can actually spend money and it gets deducted from your crypto wallet. It may have been actually here, but in the U.S. where I come from, it hasn't really been implemented yet. So, like I said, going back to what we were talking about initially, a lot of Democrats were criticizing Trump. Why you're pushing crypto? They thought that there is a conflict of interest. After all, Trump issued his own meme coin, and he has a cryptocurrency company. And as we know, Trump is a big investor in general, in real estate primarily. But he also wanted to get into crypto. So Democrats have stole the Genius Act until now. Republicans have control of both the Congress and the Senate, which will help them push those bills quite quickly. And I was just talking to a couple of my colleagues. I think the Congress will pass all these packages within the next few days, which will give a new tax cuts in the U.S. It will help spur growth, not just in the U.S., but globally. And hopefully that will impact interest rate across the globe, which will come down. And that would help also risky assets like Bitcoin. So I think the atmosphere is changing to help cryptocurrency more, helps risky assets in the near future. As we can see, Bitcoin dollars have gone up, dramatically in the last year. And if you compare this to, it's all, of course, because of President Trump. And if you compare this to other other legislation, other instruments like the U.S. stock market or other thing, it will show you really that the big difference that we have. I tried to finish real quick, so to give us 2 minutes of questions, because I always like to end my lecture with interaction with the audience. I wanted to see if you guys have any questions that I can help answer, or we can have a general discussion. So anybody have a question about anything that we have discussed today? Stable currency, U.S. regulation. Everything was clear? Okay. Listen, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You can always reach out to us, tradeviewmena.com. We are at booth 8. Please stop by and visit. We have lots to offer you. We are a multi-asset brokerage, so not just crypto. You can trade stocks, you can trade CFDs, you can trade commodities. So even if you're only trading crypto, even if you're only interested in crypto, it never hurts to widen your horizon and see other markets. You can use it for hedging, you can use it for speculative trading, you can use it for diversification. Thank you again. I wish you all the best, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next expo.